Hello, thanks for joining me. In this short video, I'm going to discuss the angiogenesis protocol, which you can find in the Cell Biology Advanced Protocols collection. Let's start by selecting the Count Size tab. Here we see the Protocols button, and if we click on it, we have the option to browse protocols. Here we'll find all our collection of protocols arranged per collection. So here we have the Essentials protocols, Cell Biology, Materials, the group I'm looking for, Cell Biology Advanced, on the top of which we see the Angiogenesis protocol. So let's click the Load button. I'm going to run through this using the demo images. So all I need to do in order to load the demo images and the demo version of the protocol is click on the drop down here and hit Load Demo. And here we see the demo image open. So here we can see these demo images are arranged as a 3-well plate, and the demo protocol loads on the left. Now, a great way to start any protocol is to click the Sync button. By clicking Sync, we can ensure that the channels in our data set are reflected in the protocol, and we can collect the appropriate channel, which in this case is bright field. I'm also going to click on the Setup Mode option so that I can run through the protocol and make sure that it's correctly configured for my data set. So let's click Next Step. The first step is to configure the cell clusters. So we want to find the regions of cell clusters and make sure they're not counted as tubes. And we can see at the top here that we have a couple of parameters to adjust: the threshold and the cluster size. And I can adjust these either by just clicking on them, clicking up and down. I could also manually enter a value in there if I wish to, or if I hover my mouse over, I get a little slider where I can move around and we can see live on the image the effect of the change I'm making. So we find the appropriate settings. So I think that worked well at 30. Same for cluster size. I can just tweak these values until I see something that I feel looks correct. I'm happy. I click OK, and we'll see our clusters marked on the image. If I want to go back and edit that, I can just click on this Show Preview Mask, and again, I can make more edits. I can also set a minimum area. So if I click on the Edit button here, I can change the minimum valid area. So anything beneath the minimum valid area will be ignored. And as we adjust this, we'll see areas, such as this one, which have become excluded. So if I set that back to 0, you can see that's a valid area. And if I raise it, it becomes invalid. So it'll be ignored for the rest of the protocol. So when I'm happy with the value I've set for the minimum area, I could set a maximum area as well if I wish to, but I'm not going to in this case. I can click OK, and I see all of my valid cell clusters marked on my image. The Fill Holes option is set by default. I'm going to leave that, and I could also set a split option if I wish, but I don't feel I need to in this case. I'm going to leave that as it is and hit Next Step. And in the next step, we're going to try and identify the tubes. So as before, I see some options I can change here, including threshold, smoothing, branch width, and the cluster size. And as before, I can just hover over any of them and use the slider to make the adjustment and see the effect of the change on my image. And again, when I click OK, I'll see my tubes marked, in this case, as lines. And if I want to make fresh adjustments, I can just click on this button to show the preview mask, and I can change any of these settings and see the effect that it's going to have. If I make a change, I can click on the Apply button, and we'll see the tubes that we found. There are also a couple of options here. There's an option to link. So in this case, anything that's 50 pixels or below will be joined. Any gaps of 50 pixels and below are joined. And in this case, any tubes that are 30 pixels or shorter will be pruned. They'll be excluded. So I could make adjustments here. For example, I could increase the size that I want to prune, click Apply, and see the changes that I make. And here, right here, there was one that I pruned out. So let's set that back to 30 and Apply. in this short tube reappears, as does this one. So I'm happy with this. I'll hit next step and I get through to the results stage. So here I can configure what results are going to be shown when I run the protocol. So I could, for example, select the option to auto-create the report. I could auto-export the results to Excel. And one option that's extremely useful for me is to configure how we're going to show the data collector results. Now, I don't want to see the pie chart, so I'm going to exclude that option. I do want to see the heat map. And you can see the heat map shown here, and it's going to show me total length, but well organized by mean. Now, I'm pretty happy with that, so I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm going to change it to the well plate format though. So as you can see, we're going to see my results arranged as a 3-well plate. Now, when I've configured the data collector as I wish, I hit the read button so that the changes I've made are applied to my protocol. And I'm also going to save my protocol and hit finish. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to deselect setup mode, click run selected, and we're going to apply that protocol to all of my data points, all of the wells in my plate. That's been quickly done by Image Pro, so it runs that very quickly. And here we see my heat map. Here's the data collector image table with 3 rows, 1 row for each of the images that we analyzed. There's also a measurement statistics table in which you can get further information about the tubes that you've detected using the protocol. On the right, we have the data collector block table in which we can see a snapshot of each of the images we've analyzed, and that includes overlays that show the tubes and the cell clusters. I'll now click finish. As you can see, the protocol is really easy to use and very powerful, and we really hope you'll find it useful. If you have any questions, please contact Media Cybernetics, and we'll be really happy to help.